What's up, guys? This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, no sugar added. I really love that you guys are here with me on WinJect TV. This is powered by WinJect Studios. I have a few notes in front of me because I definitely don't want to miss what I am doing today. So I want to thank you guys, first of all, for being here. Make sure that you crush that like button, subscribe, and all of that great stuff, because that is super important for us to build up the community that we are trying to build up here. And I want to invite you actually to my community on WinJect. And so it's winject.com/archive/Neena Perez. You can also go on straighttalknosugaradded.com. And on there, you're going to see join my podcast community. So I really hope that you come on and join me and be a part of my community, because I am building out like courses and ebooks and all kinds of stuff that I will be discussing just with my online community back there. So, and you can catch a bunch of episodes that aren't even out yet. Like today I had Courtney McDermott. She is a TEDx speaker. Like she's like a author. She has all this amazing stuff going on. So I want to make sure that you guys catch all of that. I have some amazing people coming on here. So make sure you go ahead and click subscribe. Make sure you click like, make sure you click share, smash it. Let everybody know that you are on here with us every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So now that we got all our little homework out of the way, I want to make sure that you are empowered to know that you can accomplish anything that you really want in life. Like we have already everything in us. Hi, hello, good morning. We already have everything in us, right? So what you need to know is that because it's already in there, what all you need is someone to kind of guide you in a way that will pull out whatever is already in you, right? So we talked about a lot of things. And as you know, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago that I'm developing a course right now that is about your mind flow. I call it Mind Flow for those of you who don't know, because I believe that our mind should flow and grow always and not be like stuck, right? Not just set, right? Because it is good to have a mindset if you are setting your mind in a way that's going to serve you well and push you forward. But we can also get stuck in mindsets that keep us hidden, keep us backed up with fears and getting stuck, and we're not moving forward and all of that stuff. And that doesn't serve you. So I call it mind flow because I want you to flow and grow into whatever it is that you are going to do in life, wherever you are trying to propel yourself forward. It doesn't always mean having $1 billion. It doesn't always mean having the largest company. Some people just want to be home with their kids and be the best mom they could be. And I encourage that. So whatever is encouraging and empowering for you is what I want for you. Okay. So in part 1, we talked about your conscious and your subconscious mind and how your subconscious mind sometimes causes self-sabotage or behaviors that we've trained our mind to do. And so when we want to do something new, fear comes in. Don't want to do that. Your subconscious mind kicks in. And then what happens is that you are not really fulfilling the things you want to consciously, right? The things that you say you want to do, because your subconscious mind tells you that you can't, or it's just trying to protect you. So we talked about that and the neural pathways and all this great stuff, right? And then we talked in part 2 about what it is you really want in your life, because we always have these things that we say we want, right? But in reality, what is it that you really, really want? What is it that you really want? And I don't mind the surface level things, like I want a house, I want a car, blah, 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 blah. But I like to go deeper than that. Like I really like to dig in and find out what it is you really, really want, right? Because most of us look for deeper things like joy, happiness, fulfillment, right? We want to know that we can do multiple things and do them well. Like we want to feel confident. Like there's a lot of things within us that we really, really want in life. And a lot of times we don't even touch that stuff, right? We're too busy with the house, buying the house, the car, looking good on social media, all of that stuff. But I want to know what it is you really want and how badly do you really want it? Because when you tackle those things, when you tackle why you want it and how badly you want it, right, then your goals don't become so overwhelming, because now you're narrowing it down to what it is you really want. So we talked about that, I think, in part 2. So in part 3, we talked about your why, your reason Why do you get up every day? Why is it that you actually do this? Why do you want what you want? Why are you going after that? Right? Because once you know the reason for your goals and your intentions, then you will be able to motivate yourself. Because a lot of times we think it's just, oh, we're going to know and that's it. But you know what? There's going to be days when you're not freaking motivated, when you don't want to get up, when you don't want to put that post out there, when you don't want to reach out to a client, when you don't want to make a phone call, right? And so those days, those are the days that you need to know why you're doing what you're doing, right? You need to know deeply. And I was vulnerable and spoke to you about why I get up every day and do what I do, right? Because I know that there's a lot in me. Like I know that there's a lot in me. And I also know that I don't know, I have like this really sensational feeling that I am going to impact people greater than I think I am. And it is a beautiful thing to feel. But my why is because I have a family. I love my family. And I never, ever again want to go homeless. I never, ever again want to sleep in my car. I never, ever again want to struggle with that anymore. And so that is my why. That's my drive, or the reason why I want to accomplish as many things as I do in my life, because I want to leave an impact and not just be a victim of things that have happened to me. Right. So that's my why. Right. But then we got into all of that. And then I said, wait a minute, we didn't even get into how you can actually achieve these goals. What is your plan? How do you do it? Right. So it's one thing to tell you to do something. It's another thing to walk you through on how to do it. Right. And that's what happens a lot. Like I'm noticing this more than I want to, is how many people are out here promising you a bunch of shit, and they're not even doing anything. Like they're just giving you like these promises. They don't guide you through how, they don't put you through a process to help you get there, right? They just make you promises and then they leave you flat. And that's happened to me. And I know that it's happened to a lot of people. Promises, no results, right? I don't want to be that person. So that's why when I come on here, I'm very intentional about what I'm saying and what I am doing, right? So yes, this has become more of a motivational self-help thing, but that's what I want, because I feel like if you're listening to my voice and you are resonated with something, then we can move forward, right? And if you want to achieve your goals and improve your life, then you want to get focused, and you don't want somebody just giving you a whole bunch of crap. Like I have just been so done and overwhelmed with all of the inundation of emails and all this crap that's coming through, making all of these billions of promises, and I see zip. Okay. So it's annoying and it's frustrating, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person. Right. So I want to talk to you about effective planning, because if you want to achieve your goals, you want to improve your life, then you need to get what you know, because the truth is you're going to get in your life what you're focusing on. What you're putting your mind to and what you're looking at is what you're going to get. And I know that you're, oh no, here we go. Yes, because it's true. Right? It's like I always use that example of the red car thing, right? Like if you want a red car, all of a sudden everybody and their mother got a red car, and it's not true. But the truth is that that's what you're focusing on. So therefore, that's what you're looking at. And when you're looking at stuff like that, that's what you get, right? So if you're focusing on challenges, you're focusing on how difficult something is, you will have to, you're going to feel like you're constantly having to overcome these challenges and these difficulties, right? To achieve the goal that you want. Instead of looking at it at a lens of, yes, might be a challenge. How do I circumvent this challenge or change the challenge to something where I can break it apart and actually do something with it, right? So there's a difference between looking at the challenge and being overwhelmed and overcome by this challenge, or doing well with it, right? If you focus on what is going well, what is going excellent in your life, right? Then you will create more things that are going to go well and going to create excellence in your life, right? It doesn't mean that shit doesn't happen. It doesn't mean that, stuff doesn't come and attack you. It doesn't mean that you won't have struggles. I mean, that's ridiculous for anybody to even say that that's going to happen. But doesn't it make sense that what you focus on is what it's going to be? Like if you're focused on something like you go home and you're angry all the time and you're like, oh, I'm going to come into this house, it's just going to be like a hot mess and I'm going to be angry, then automatically you're coming in angry. So no matter what the household was like, you coming in angry has caused now the energy in that room to become tense and angry, right? So you have to create something in your life. You have to create that excellent plan in your life that you want when you want to achieve the goals that you want. And you have to ask yourself the right questions. Ain't nobody gonna, come and save you. You have to save you, right? We had one savior. To me, it was Jesus, right? But we can't be counting on people to come and rescue you behind all the time. You got to get up and you got to do what you got to do. What's that? Love that because what? I missed it. Oh, there it is. What is it? Love that because people do make a lot of promises. Yes, exactly. They do make a lot of promises, Dominique. And that's the problem, right? The problem is that we get caught up in that though. And that is our fault, right? But you can create an excellent way of thinking, a plan, so that you can achieve the goals that you're wanting to do, the ones that you're asking yourself to do, the ones that are like in you, right? Those things that you really, really, really want to do. And some things are crappy. Like you don't really want to go through the process of actually having to do them, but you have to ask yourself those really big questions and ask yourself, the whys, the reasons, so that you can go, somewhere and really think about what you're thinking about. And that's really powerful, right? Because I'm going to really recommend that you guys do this exercise. I've done it and it's unbelievable what this will do for you. And it's simple. Grab a paper, grab a pen, grab a notebook, grab whatever you need to grab to write on and write with. And I want you to journal and ask yourself, how are you going to achieve the goals that you want? So you have this goal, right? How are you going to achieve this goal? And I want you to do this at least, if you can, 15 to 20 minutes a day, because that is what really, really, really impacted my life and shifted things in my life. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. If you want to make 200,000 this year, 100,000, whatever your goal is, you got to ask yourself, how are you going to make it? How exactly are you going to make that 200,000 this year? What do I have to do? Right? Write down every idea that comes to you, everything that comes into your mind, write it down on that piece of paper, journal it, put it down on paper and say, okay, this is step 1, step 2, step 3, whatever that is. And it might change, but I want you to write them anyway. Ask yourself questions so that your subconscious has to answer it, right? Like if I said to you, don't think about a pink elephant. You're thinking about a pink elephant, aren't you? Yeah, of course you are, because your brain can automatically respond to what you are asking it, right? And asking yourself questions can be extremely powerful, because even when you say, I don't know, you're still seeking for an answer. Your brain cannot help it. It's what it does, right? So even though people always say to me, especially when I'm coaching these women, I don't know. Well, if you did know, what do you think it would be? If you were advising a friend, and you can advise, and she just said this exact same thing, what would that be? You'd be shocked at how many times they come up with the answer, right? Sometimes we just need a little prodding. We just need a little support, to get these questions answered, right? So keep going and keep writing and keep putting these things into practice until you really cannot come up with any more ideas. Like you've exhausted all of your ideas. And once you have this list, right, then your plan, you can add to it later. You can do whatever you want to it later. But your plan is that every night before you go to sleep, you're going to ask yourself the same questions. Every time that you have just a few moments, 20, 30 minutes of time, ask yourself the question, what is it that I want? How do I get there? Your subconscious will work for you. I promise. Right? So I remember I was going to school for culinary. And it was before culinary. It was before culinary school. I remember thinking, I want to teach kids how to cook. I had no freaking idea how I was going to do that, right? But I knew that it was something I wanted to do. And so I remember I wish I had the book with me. I was trying to find it. It's probably upstairs in my nightstand. But I had a book, and I wrote down in this book what it is I wanted to do. I wanted to teach children how to do culinary. I don't mean just cooking. Like I don't do like little heart-shaped sandwiches. No, I'm talking about real culinary school lessons for kids, right? And so I said, all right, how do I do this? So what I did was I took out this notebook and I did exactly what I'm telling you to do. Neena, how do you make this happen? So I started writing down all of the ideas and thoughts and plans of how I'm going to create this kid's culinary business, right? And so I started creating it. And I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm writing stuff down, and I go back to sleep. And then I get up the next day. I'm like, oh my God, that's a great idea. And I write it down. If a dream came, I wrote it down. And that's how I did it. And I couldn't believe it. I was looking at the notebook the other day, and I built that business with $150 because that's all I had. $150 is all I had. And so I looked at the $150 and said, what the heck am I going to do with this? How am I going to make this into something more? Right. And so I took that $150 and I thought, okay, what's the first step of inventing or creating this business? And so I started to say, okay, well, I need a couple of cooking tools, and I also need to let people know about it. So maybe post it on Facebook, that's free. Maybe do a blog, that's free. Maybe do call channel 12, that's free. Like, and that's what I started to do. And I built that business from $150. And when I finally like laid it to rest for a little while, because I think I might pick it back up, it was over $50,000, right? So it had grown in revenue, and it was like, wow, I did that with $150, right? And that was like in 2015. I kind of just laid it down for a little while, but I might be picking that baby back up because I'm getting inundated with people wanting to teach their kids culinary. So I might get back on there, guys. You might hear about it. All right. So I want you to pursue what it is you really want. Like, really pursue it. Like, you ever been like courting someone and you're dating and you are like, you doing everything you can, you're at your best behavior, you're going to the best restaurants, you are, trying to do like the best outdoorsy stuff or whatever that person is into because you're courting them, right? And so I want you to pursue and court your idea. Really think about what it is you want to do. Write it down, journal it. What is your, what do you want to accomplish? Let's just start with this year. You don't even have to do 5 or 10 years if you're not ready for that. But let's do this year because we're already going into April. Can you freaking believe that? Going into April. So just this year alone, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish, right? Break them down. And when you break it down, once you have this idea for your high level plan, whatever that is, and I'll be announcing mine soon. I have a whole bunch of great ideas that I'm coming out with. So I am working on that. And so what your high level plan is, and then your next step is to break these things down into like day-to-day goals, something that'll help you move closer to whatever that big goal is. Like I said, I started with $150. What can I do with that? $150. Believe me, that was a lot of money for me back then because we were tight. Okay. So having $150 was, I had to be strategic as to how I wanted to build this business. I couldn't believe it. By the time that I put the business to rest, because I was pursuing my career in culinary at a higher level, right? I wanted to become a director. And so I started to put that to rest. By the time I did that, I had already taught almost 15,000 kids. Like, hello. Your girl was working, okay? And then I said, you know what? I want to pursue my career, work at restaurants now, and I want to grow until I'm a director. And I did that. Every day, okay, what do I have to do to be a director? How do I get there? What's the goals? How do I achieve that? Blah, blah, blah. I've had an amazing opportunity to build the whole the inner workings, if you will, of a restaurant from the ground up. And it was such an amazing, beautiful experience. And it also working at really high end restaurants helped me, right? And so that made me grow until I was a director of culinary operations, right? So I had other goals. And so I reached them. And how did I do that? Literally what I'm telling you to do, step by freaking step, breaking it down. What do I have to do? Oh, I have to go to culinary school. Let me get that done. I have to achieve good grades. Let me get that done. I want to make sure that I speak to the camera as I'm cooking or doing a show. And so I took public speaking and I won a couple of competitions in public speaking. Then I took every stage that people would give me to speak on stages. I took it. So do you see what I'm saying? I even had an amazing opportunity once to speak on the stage right after Madeleine Albright. May she rest in peace. She recently passed. And that was an amazing experience, sitting at a table with her, talking about women, talking about the strength of women, and actually being up there to go and speak about my story right after Madeleine Albright. Like, hello, that was a moment. But how did I get there? Wrote that crap down. I wrote it down. I focused on it. I looked at it, and then I broke down into goals. Now, you guys don't have to do nothing that I'm saying and stay where you are. We're good. You're right. You can do exactly what you want to do and stay exactly where you want to stay. I'm just telling you that it's time to level up. How are you going to do that? What's that, Kalina? Yes, Nina. I love this. Write it down. Where focus goes, energy flows. Exactly. Exactly. And I talk about that often, right? Because energy is key to a lot of ways that you are going to show up. The way you show up has a lot to do with your energy, right? And so you can't be letting leeches and chickens like drain you of your energy, right? If you're around people that drain you dry, I always say deuces. It's time to go, right? So move closer to your goal and make sure that you're doing it by actually taking a very conscious and subconscious approach to this and be really serious about making it happen. You don't have to. This is just my suggestion from a homegirl who came from the projects, from poverty, from living in my car to six figures. It's just from me. You don't got to take nothing from me if you don't want to, right? I'm just trying to give you some tools for you to grow. And I know my lazy behind did not do that for a very long time. People would tell me things that would be in one ear and out the other because I was just trying to survive. But at some point, you have to get out of survival mode and get your butt in action, right? And once you do that, and I'm not even telling you to do anything like crazy. This is literally thinking about what it is you want to accomplish just this year, and then write it down and write down specific ways to get there. That's all I'm saying, right? And so you have to turn your subconscious into the machine that you need that'll take you to where you want to go. And the only way to do that is to reprogram. A lot of us are already programmed poorly. And so we need to delete and reprogram, right? So that we can get right back to where we want to go. Now, this is going to take you time. You're not going to be able to like get up the next day and all is well, right? But I will tell you that you will feel better. You're going to have small wins. It will push you forward. And once you have small wins, the big win will come because now you're focused. Now you're going for it, right? So you have to train your subconscious mind to actually start thinking like that all of the time. That's not easy, but you start by writing down everything that comes to mind that you think, even if it's crazy. I don't care if it's crazy, all right? If it's crazy, the better, right? Write down that crazy behind the idea on that journal and on that paper because it doesn't matter. What I want you to do now is I want you to get creative. Take everything from your mind, put it down on paper. That's all I'm asking, right? Now you can later on like start to like, oh, that doesn't really make sense. And that whatever you want to do to delete. But what you need to do is move your behind forward. And you cannot do it if you are just sitting there thinking about it. Okay. You can't just think about it. You got to write about it. Think about it, move about it, right? Get strategic about it. See what it is you need to do because a lot of us are feeling stuck. But the reason we're feeling stuck is because we are not actually taking the time to see what it is we need to do and why we want to do it and how we can do it. Because let me tell you something. If you would have told me, Nina, you know what? In your future, in when you're like, oh, I'm almost 50. When you're almost 50, you're gonna be live on a show. You're gonna have your own podcast. You're gonna have a really great coaching business. You're gonna be a director of culinary operations. You're gonna be racking in six figures. You're gonna be doing. I would have told you were lying because I was in the midst of struggling. Right? I was in the midst of struggling, and I did not feel like I was going to do anything. But one day, my behind woke up. And I was like, okay, what are you going to do differently? Because you can't be this person every day and expect a different result. So you're going to have to get out of your own way. You cannot keep doing the same thing, being in the same chapter, writing the same lines and expecting a different chapter. That's just not going to happen. Every chapter has its own thing. So I want you to be able to write down what this chapter looks like, what this journey looks like, what these goals are now. And it might change. By the time you even get to like September, you're like, my whole goal is changed. But you know what you have now? Movement. You moved forward. And that's all I need for you. I need you to move forward. All right. So for example, if one of your tasks on the first day is going to look way different than it's going to look on the next day, right? So you want to make $200,000 this year. I use that number for a reason. I was speaking to someone and that's what they want to make. This can come in different ways. Me and her were exploring, what does that look like? Does it look like getting a second job? Does it look like starting a side gig? Does it look like, working extra hours? Like, what does this look like to you? And how exactly do you feel is the right path for you to make the additional money to make that 200,000? I think she's at 130 or something right now. So she wants to get to 200 this year. If that's her goal, I'm working with that. That's what we got. Okay. But it is essential that you start acting right now. So you're right here on this show with me right now. You're watching. Okay. Get your behind a pen and a paper and start working on it. Okay. It is essential that you start like right now, write the list of the things you want to do, write your goal and write that daily task every day. Cross them off as you do them. You know what? I'm going to do social media marketing. Okay. So I want to learn more about social media. What course do I take? Okay. I'm going to take this course, blah, blah, blah. And when it's done, cross next. And you will see. I wish I could find my freaking book so I can show you. I had a vision of teaching culinary classes, right, to kids. So I wrote them down, and every night I would wake up, what about Italian? And I would put Italian in all the food I can teach. What about this? And you know what? I ended up starting the kids culinary program at the local college here and teaching kids all of these international foods. Why? Written in a book, written. And you know what ended up happening? This was really cool. Like within my first 2 weeks of school, the head professor there pulled me to the side and said, Neena, I know that you had said to me something about liking to cook with kids. And I said, yes. He said, how would you like to start the very first culinary program for kids here at the college? That would be a hell yes, right? Why? I feel with all my prayer, with all of my hard work, with me writing it down, with me focusing, with me doing what I had to do, it manifested that into my life. And I was able to start the first freaking program there, which, by the way, some of those kids, and we're talking about 15 plus years ago, some of those kids still write to me to thank me because they have food blogs now. They cook in college. They cook for their families. Like, I am so proud of that, right? I'm so proud because I got up off my behind and instead of saying, woe is me all the freaking time, right? I did something about it. I became accountable to my passion. I became accountable to my dream. I became accountable to my goal, right? And the only way to do that is to actually start doing it. That's not the only way to do it. Get your behind up and start doing it. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't, because as soon as they say you can't, that should make you even more wanting to go after it. I remember when I was leaving my job as a medical assistant, right? And I was going back to college. And I remember somebody said to me, you're never going to make it as a chef. They don't make any money. Okay, challenge accepted, like a mofo, right? So then, of course, I was head going forward because that's how I am, right? Straight A student, 4.0, valedictorian, full scholarship. Hello, okay? Don't play with me. And then I went from there to directorship and all this other stuff, making six figures and you still in the same office. Just saying, right? So if you work a job, then you have to be accountable to your boss. If you work a business, you got to be accountable to your customers, to your employees, to yourself. When you are working on your goals to achieve what you want in your life, then you are accountable to you. You are accountable to you. If you have goals and you want to achieve them, get it together. Okay, because you got it. You're really accountable to you. I, as a coach, can lead people to a lot of things, but I can only hold them accountable. They actually have to do the work, right? And some people need others. I know I do. I need other people to keep me accountable, right? I know I have to be on Winject TV at 11 a.m. So my behind is backstage 15 minutes before, just to make sure that me and Chris talk about whatever we need to talk about before I get on here to come up here with you guys. I am accountable to you. I am accountable to Winject. I am accountable to my community. I'm accountable to everyone, right? So when I'm accountable, I know that I will do what I need to do to get it done, right? But if you're just sitting there and you're not serious about wanting to develop a mindset or mind flow to win, then there's really nothing you can do until you're ready to do that, right? It's a good idea. It's a good idea for you to really hold yourself accountable or have someone hold you accountable so that you can freaking win. And what I mean by that is for you to get to where it is you want to go, because nobody can get you there. It is only you. And if you're alive, if you're breathing, and you can hear the sound of my voice, then you know that you have something in you and more in you in life where you can accomplish what it is you want to accomplish. Now, it is up to you whether you do it or not. I know, probably getting a little tough on you guys today, right? But as I'm talking to you, I am talking to me, because I know that there's like, so much in me, right? So much in me. And I know that there is so much that I have to learn, so much I still have to accomplish, so many things I still want to do. And they are written down, baby. Yes, they are. And I also have a vision board with me on a big screen TV and the whole jam, right? I'm not playing games. I know that I have lives to impact. I know that my life has been impacted by others. And I know that it is important for us to collaborate and to be with one another, to push each other forward and lift each other up. It is not about tearing people down, right? I don't do that. I don't accept that. And I've had a lot of haters come on my YouTube channel and talk some crap. Ain't nobody got time for you. I ain't got time for you. If you got to talk stuff like that, delete. I ain't got time, right? Because why? When I'm spending this much time for me, when I'm spending this much time for my family, when I'm spending this much time for you, I don't have time for haters. If they stepping in the stage with me, on this arena with me, they ain't got nothing to say. Okay, I want you to be confident in who you are. And I want to make sure that you leave here today encouraged and knowing that you're going to make it to whatever that next level is. I want you to write it down. I want you to journal. I want you to be as passionate and pursue it as much as you would that next piece of booty that you might have wanted to go dating. Okay, you need to pursue what you want. You need to pursue it. You need to want it. You need to really be like, okay, I don't want to be here anymore. I know that. At least start there. And if you don't want to be there, where is it that you want to be? Right? So I know I probably gave you guys a lot today in 32 minutes. And I'm so sorry if I was a little bit too hard on you, but I want to make sure that you accomplish what it is you want. Oh man. And I want you to tell me too, because I would love to see that any seed I might have dropped, would flourish in your life. Any seed. And I want another thing I told my kids, and I read it in the Bible. I told my kids and everything is, do not throw your pearls to the swine. Don't just share your stuff with everybody. Okay? Because what happens with that, and I learned, is that when their fears, the people that you're telling, kick in, right? Or they don't believe in you like you believe in you, they will start to trample on the pearls, right? They will start to not take respect for what it is you're putting out there. So make sure that you don't throw your pearls to the swine. Don't just let anybody trample on what it is you want to do. Don't let people just give you their fears and their insecurities and their bad mouthing. Don't let people do that to you. You stand in who you are. You stand in what you believe. And if that is a dream that is not going to cause any harm or hurt to anyone, I say go for it. Go for it. And don't throw your pearls to just anybody. Find the few people that you trust, that you know have a mindset of growth or have already grown and they are in a place where you want to be. Okay, because if you find those people, right, they will encourage you because they themselves are in the same trajectory. This is why I love people that I surround myself with these days. All of the other people that I used to surround myself with that got that really negative, ugly mindset have all dropped off. They just done dropped off, right? Why? Because I've elevated my thinking. And when you elevate your thinking, people who can't stand that drop off. And before you know it, that's it. They're not there anymore. But that's okay. They were only there for a season, right? But my kids, my husband, my dearest friends, all of them have a mindset of growth. They have a mindset of pushing forward. They have a mindset of achieving, and they are not playing games. And when I surround myself with people like that, I'm going to grow. I'm going to do better. I'm going to show up, right? And so I need you to do that for yourself. And I hope that I can be that person for you. For all of you that are watching, I hope that I can be that person for you, where I can drop something here that you can pick up, plant, and watch it grow. That is all I want to do for you guys. So thank you guys so much for spending time with me, for leaving all your amazing comments and stuff on the side. You guys are the bomb. I love you so much. Please make sure that you are writing in your journal. And if you can, if you want to, go ahead and shoot me like a quick email or comment or whatever. And let me know. Let me know that something helped you, something like spoke to you today, because I really want to make sure that we grow this community and that I'm actually leaving something in the world, because if I'm leaving crap in the world, there's no reason to be here. But thank you guys for being here with me. This is Neena Perez. This is Straight Talk, no sugar added. Until next time.
This broadcast is brought to you by Winject Studios. We are an all-in-one educational platform for podcasters that revolutionizes how hosts leverage content to increase engagement with listeners, downloads, and income. We come together to focus on community, collaboration, and collective impact. For more information on how you can interact directly with our hosts, access exclusive live content with offers you can't get anywhere else from our official partners, join our purpose-driven community by visiting www.winject.com. If you're ready to build a career doing what you love, then we're ready to see you there.